Truckers X TV on air. We are now live in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice. In the previous episode, we cross-examined Nana's testimony and we found out the truth. If you're wondering how the truth was unveiled, you check out the previous episode. Because if you click to this video out of random time and you say this thumbnail pic is a spoiler, then there's something wrong with you, because this episode is entitled Queen Amara's Testimony. It was unveiled the truth in the previous episode. The last 2 minutes of the video, I stated that if you guys say it's a spoiler, then it is not, because then you probably missed it out on the yesterday's episode, because we're going by a walkthrough right here. We are going by a walkthrough, meaning that we're just going certain parts of the video at certain parts that seems to be a puzzle, that seems to be a challenge, and that's about it. So one episode we went to Nana's testimony, another episode we went to Rafa's testimony, and now we're at Queen Amara's. So anyways, so this is not a spoiler. If you say it's a spoiler, then there's something wrong. Anyways, if you're hyped for this episode, make sure to like button and enjoy the video. Now, let's begin her testimony. The lawyer's theory is absurd, and if I were to not say Queen Amara's testimony and put the lawyer's theory is absurd, then YouTube won't be able to freaking allow that title because it's too long. It has to be nice and short. Now, I shall destroy your utterly absurd and barbarous theory. I was not anywhere near the tomb following the murder. Were your theory correct, I would have been in the tomb once I had stopped channeling. That did not process at all. My husband Dirk is the killer, but he was fled from this sacred hall. May the Holy Mother rain judgment upon the traitor Dirk Almighty for his crimes. So much for a happy freaking family.
Oh, such marvelous testimony. You are truly a treasure, your mercifulness.
This too is but the grace of her holiness. No doubt my unmasking here today was her will as well.
Oh my, the Holy Mother, you say?
Yes, surely her holiness has guided me to the witness stand.
And with that, there's your thumbnail pic, ladies and gentlemen.
And to the purity of truth.
Where did the tiger come from?
Oh, how magnificent, Queen Amara, the Holy Mother's messenger here on earth.
Praise be the Queen Amara, blessing upon her mercifulness.
Where did those animals even come from? Especially the tiger. Looks so unreal, even it's fiction.
Now then, the fence may question the witness. But remember, she is a grand priestess, so disrespect will not be tolerated. That means no pointing out conflicts, inconsistencies, or any other flaws in her testimony.
Oh, great. We have no other choice but the press then, right? Jesus Christ! What's with the animals? Right! Great. Freaking Snow White here. Now I shall destroy your utterly absurd and barbarous theory. Okay, before we do anything else right now, my entire theory before we entered this trial, I thought Inga was trying to throw a coup so he can get the throne. Garen Garan was the one who set the freaking her ex-royalty house in flames so she can get the throne. That's what I was thinking, like the theory right there. But I'm guessing two sisters are helping one another towards a certain goal, such as obtaining the Founder's Orb. That's what I'm guessing. Nah, okay, just press. I think that's a freaking hint right there. My theory is utterly absurd and barbarous.
And high-handed, if I may so. Nayuda was right to call you putrid-minded. Surely even the monkeys of Mount Pony's holy waterfall could devise a better theory.
Surely you can steal better insults than Nayuda's best.
Now then, to all of you gathered in this sacred hall, need I remind you I was not anywhere near the tomb following the murder.
Oh shoot. Get back. I want to press on to that. Get back. I want to press on to that. Well, maybe you were hiding inside the sarcophagus. Remember, we cannot show any inconsistencies to this. After all, it does technically belong to you. I bet you have no trouble opening it.
If I had been in there, I could not be here today. For the tomb has been under constant surveillance since the murder. I would have never been able to leave.
I guess not. If I might ask, what's in that sarcophagus anyway? You're still alive, so...
There is despair, sadness, and hatred, and malice. Only one brave enough to see the truth hidden deep within.
Open your eyes, woman!
Could discover the final hope, my continued
Corporality? You completely lost me. In other words, it's empty. But no one dared to open it because they were too scared of the curse.
Now, will you dispense with your theory? It is as empty as my sarcophagus.
Next freaking...
Hold it!
I'll admit, you weren't in the tomb after the murder.
Very good, but that very truth refutes your theory. Even if I had channeled Minister Inga,
Okay, that's Inga.
entered the tomb,
As said.
the moment I ceased channeling him, I would have re-emerged at the crime scene. Precisely, as you said yourself, Defense. Queen Amara was not there after the murder. The only living souls in the tomb at that time were Dirk Samadhi and Maya Fey. Be it in this life or the next.
Where's Dirk?
There is no escaping such simple truths.
The tiger's really creeping me out. It really is.
My husband, Dirk, is the killer, but he has fled from the sacred hall.
Hold it!
There must be a reason why he had to make his escape today.
A reason? Perhaps.
Perhaps what?
Perhaps to conceal himself and lie in wait for another chance to claim my life.
What's this?
What have I done? Yo, I thought Garan's supposed to be in the... Never mind, she said sidelines. No, it's definitely not like that in your mercifulness. First of all, you don't really believe he's trying to kill you, do you? After all, you two ran off together after he rescued all those years ago.
That was only because he had the audacity to claim it wasn't me, you must believe me. It was my duty as a wife to her husband. To bend an ear to him, was it not?
Great, so you were just pitying the guy.
Communication after disagreement is the secret to a long and happy marriage.
Sure, I guess. What do you think, Mr. Wright? Don't ask me.
That is why I listened to Dirk. However, he didn't have a shred of evidence to support his claim. It grieves me to admit it, but my husband truly did try to murder me.
Yo, we didn't even went through it!
It's abundantly clear that it says its flaws.
Yo, we went 4 out of 5, wasn't there?
Do you understand now, lawyer?
This is bad. The judge isn't going to let me cross-examine her much longer. Amara should have been in the tomb after the minister murdered. But she wasn't. I don't get it. How did she just vanish from the scene of the crime like that? It shouldn't be possible for normal people, too. For normal people, I got nothing. Maybe. Maybe what? I got nothing. Your Majesty, I think I can explain why Queen Amara wasn't there in the tomb after the murder. I got nothing.
Very well, Defense, do explain.
I believe it was accomplished through a method only she is capable of. I got nothing! And by using this special method, it will be possible for her to literally disappear too.
Well, don't keep us waiting. Let's hear it.
Huh? She hid in the sarcophagus, she channeled someone, she clung to the ceiling. I mean, We already freaking... She channeled someone. There was a big old hint saying that for normal people. Maybe. Maybe what? Your Majesty. She channeled someone? Because we already established that she cannot hit in the sarcophagus. She can't cling to the ceiling because the guards will be looking up and down, left and right, and everywhere in the building. So it has to be channeled someone, because if she, there is no way she could hit it unless she lied. Yes. All she had to do was channel someone. Then she could easily disappear from the scene of the crime. After all, she would literally be someone else.
Why, I believe that actually makes sense.
But who? What do you have to say to that, Queen Amara?
You believe that I, a Grand Priestess, would use the sacred power of spirit channeling to commit murder?
Hello? Yo! What the?
Mercy, your mercifulness.
The judge went under the freaking... Oh my gosh.
How dare you spew such vile blasphemy? Defense.
Blasphemy's been used back to back.
You will retract your last statement or face immediate execution.
But I was right?
No, good Majesty. It is quite alright. Khura'ism also teaches that we must respond at all times with reason principle. Therefore, I shall offer a measured response to his blasphemous accusation.
You have something to counter with?
Indeed. Now, are you listening? It would not have been possible to simply vanish by means of spirit channeling. After all, it would require a diseased person to channel. However, there was only one murder victim in the tomb.
I would say that broken statue...
And that was Minister Inga. The only others there right after his murder, Maya and Dirk, were Dirk and Miss Faye. Had I channeled Inga as you allege, well, the outcome would have been quite odd to say the least. For there, beside the dead minister, a living, breathing one would have appeared. Even if it had been in the tomb, there was no one to channel except the diseased minister. So you see, I could not vanish by means of spirit channeling.
That's true, but... I can't rule it out yet. Because, well... What if there was another victim? Someone we haven't identified yet. I feel like I have an idea who, but this is really out of field right here.
How absurd.
If you channeled someone other than Minister Inga, you could have used their identity to disappear from the tomb. Another victim? Queen Amara. Please don't tell me. Please add your last statement to your testimony. This could explain everything. Wasn't there some sign of another victim there in the tomb? And yet, why do I sense I'm not going to like what I'm about to find out?
Minister Ingo was the sole victim. There was no other spirit to channel until he was dead.
What was the updated? Yo, there was like 2 more. We didn't even went through it. Oh, how did we end up going through like this and that? Anyways, my husband Dirk is the killer, but he was fled from the sacred hall. Yo, what did she add it again? Okay, we went through there. Wait, and then I was not anywhere near the tomb following the murder. Okay, were your theory correct? I would have been the tomb once I had stopped. I would have been in the tomb once I had stopped channeling. Minister Inga was the sole victim. There was no other spirit to channel until he was dead. My husband Dirk is the killer, but he has fled the sacred hall. May the Holy Mother rain judgment. Why have we not pressed on that? Yo, it's like my theory is right here. But that's something utterly out of hand right now. That's my idea, but this is just not right here. we had to think of this right here. This piece right here. It's broken for some reason. Oh wait, we discovered that it was broken. Okay. What else besides that? Inga's notepad. Who else was she channeled? A victim. What other victim? In the name of Her Eminence. The arson incident involving Amara's private residence. Amara was slipped a sleeping pill and perished in the fire. The lighter found at the scene had Dirk's fingerprints on it. Apollo's roving musician father got caught up in the incident and lost his life. He was struck in the head by the culprit. The victim's passport and any pictures of him were burned up in the fire without knowing his real name. No divination seance could be performed. As the son of the terrorist Dirk, Nayuda was expelled from the royal blah blah. There was no other spirit to channel until he was dead.
Objection!
Oh, okay, that makes sense now. Another victim, great. So, if you see 5, if I edit this out and there were 5 freaking tries, it's because I used all 4 of them because I was thinking of someone else. I wasn't thinking of the freaking stuff we had. I'd rather not talk about it. You guys are gonna hate it, but other than that, this is what was meant to be. But it proves that there was another victim. Still, the only ones that they're at the scene of the crime were Maya, Dirk, and Dirk. No, I can't be.
Would the fans care to share something with us?
I got nothing, man. Queen Amara, you knew, didn't you?
Whatever are you talking about?
If you won't tell Discord, then I will.
Well, don't keep us waiting.
This case includes a second victim. One of the 2 people found alive in the tomb after the minister's murder was actually already dead.
But a second victim, Apollo?
Queen Amara, after you channeled Minister Inga and moved to the tomb, you vanished from the scene of the crime by channeling the other victim. That explains why no one found you after the murder was discovered. She was actually Dirk?! Wait, she was Dirk? Oh, you pigeon pepper, of all the half-witted buffoonery to come tumbling from your lips. But I suppose I indulge you and play along with your little delusion. Tell me, Mr. Justice, who was the other victim? It all makes sense! I think, because Nana disappeared, but she's Queen Amara. But freaking Dirk was the murderer, quote unquote. But the one who actually poses as Dirk, there's no way this can be true. But no, I can't stop now. If this is the truth, it's the only way forward to solving this case. Is this what I'm suggesting right now? The other victim who Queen Amara channeled was none other than... So he died already.
Listen, son, either you manage to prove me innocent tomorrow, I don't have long to live.
That's right. Dirk knew everything. But he couldn't bring himself to tell me. So he already died at that time.
I have one more big secret. I'm afraid I can't tell you what it is. I'd be betraying a certain someone if I did.
Even though it's a flashback, I'm stating this because it all makes sense. He couldn't accuse the love of his life. The sad truth is, the other victim channeled by Amara was...
Take that!
What? You can't!
That's not possible!
The defendant, Dirk's son Marty, is the one Queen Amara channeled. He's the other victim! This is insanity!
Hokuka! Apollo! What are you? Do you realize what you're proposing?
Objection!
I demand an explanation, Mr. Justice. He already died. I don't know when or why Dirk was murdered, but the facts and evidence speak for themselves. And this is where they led me.
I see. After Inga's murder, Dirk and Maya were the only ones in the tomb.
And Dirk, claiming it was all fuzzy, doesn't know what happened because he already died. And then, that channel, when Nana, quote unquote Nana, disappeared, it was actually Dirk. It was actually Queen Amara channeling Dirk, who was there for at least one day, since she was the Queen Almighty, or ex-Queen Almighty. She can hold that channel for so long. It all makes sense.
But if one of them was actually dead and being channeled by Amara, but it can't be, can it?
Dirk's bloodstain at the scene of the crime was the clincher for me. So he was in the sarcophagus then. He wasn't even injured, so how could he have possibly bleed that much? So he died in the sarcophagus. The only logical explanation is Dirk had also been murdered.
Objection!
That's enough! Your explanation cannot be the truth! And you would not dare to claim to have proof to support your assertion! Nayuda, I wish it weren't true. I wish with all my heart that I'm wrong. But as much as I don't want to believe it, yes, I can prove it. How? Dirk's killer must have hidden his body. It would have to be somewhere nobody would ever look. And there is only one such place. You truly have proof? The fastest way would be to actually have someone go check the tomb.
Go check the tomb? But why?
Because I believe Dirk's killer hid his body here. Yo, it's either the broken thing where we found the pendant and this. That's all our two explanations. We're not gonna get penalized, but let's go for this. Even though the blood led to the sarcophagus. Then again, that makes truth. It's these two things that I'm guessing right now, but let's go for the sarcophagus. We're not getting penalized. You would suggest Queen Amara's sarcophagus, the only place in the tomb that no one would dare to look. Plus, a killer would soon become trapped by hiding in there. But a body, well, that's a horse of a different color. Which means
I believe we must search the sarcophagus at once. Your Eminence, being that Queen Amara yet lives, I trust we may now open it.
If we must.
Your Majesty, I believe Detective Sky is still there at the tomb. Let us contact her at once and have her conduct a full investigation to the matter. Are we going to be continued right now? Why, Emma?
Now then, Detective Sky, your report, if you please.
I'll start with my findings.
Is this another episode we're going into? Please, please. Please let me be wrong about this. I just want things to be as they were. Please don't tell me we're going for a freaking testimony right now.
A search of the sarcophagus revealed a body that appeared to be several days old.
A body? Detective Sky, tell me it wasn't Dirk. Tell me my whole theory was completely off base.
I have a photo of the body, and I I have possibly identified it as... Dirk Sadmati. Dirk! No! The feels. Why? Why'd this have to happen? Damn it, Dirk! Answer me! It wasn't an illness after all. He knew that he was being channeled. Or so to say. Because of freaking who was being channeled as memory of what has happened for the past 3 hours or so, I don't know. How can this be? The traitorous snake, the very head of the insurgency, murdered? Oh, what a joyous day. Those fools shouting for change and revolution will finally return to whatever rocks they crawled out from under. Who? What was I even fighting for?
Apollo!
What am I supposed to do now?
Hello? Son.
A lawyer. Must not yield? Yield to the dragon? Whatever.
Should never look the way you do right now.
That is a flashback as well.
A dragon never yields. Even with wounded, a dragon bites down hard and never lets go till its dying breath. It glares, it roars, and it lashes its jaws firmly onto its prey to the bitter end. That's what lawyers do to get to the truth.
But Dirk, what if the truth is that you're...
Apollo, in court tomorrow. You may find yourself face a truth that is difficult to accept. But I know you, and I know you can handle the truth no matter what it turns out to be. I know that because I believe in you. You're my son after all.
Flashback to yesterday or so, how many episodes ago? You believed in me that much, Dirk. Dirk, I think I finally understand. I can't yield. Not now, not ever. Not after Dirk believed in me, despite knowing what was about to happen. Besides, Dirk left me with two things I must do.
Are you alright, Apollo?
Sorry about that, Mr. Wright. But I'm fine now.
Apollo.
Detective Sky? Yes? How sure are you that the body's been there for a few days? I'm positive. No autopsy has been performed yet, but I say it's been at least 3 days. Fortunately, the low temperature inside the sarcophagus kept it from decaying. Oh, and the chest area bore 3 gunshot wounds from a smaller caliber weapon. I believe they are the cause of death.
His coach photo added to the court record. At least 3 days, huh? That means Dirk was already dead by the time he came to visit me back in the States. Then who was channeling him? Maya? I think it would have to be someone who could get into and stay in the US without arousing suspicion. Yet also had a solid cover story so they wouldn't be seen as missing. I believe this is who was channeling Dirk when I saw him at the States. Maya? Yo, let me check this out, cause even though we're at a good moment right now, we have either Maya or her benevolence herself, or her mercifulness herself. So let me check. It's gotta be Maya. The answer's gotta be Maya. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But investigation, Zhao, Maya Fei, Nana, Amara.
Take that!
Maya? Oh, I see. She was being held hostage at the time, so it seemed only natural that she wasn't around. Right. And do you remember what she said earlier? That she was fuzzy? So please, just tell me, what exactly are you hiding? So that's what she promised Dirk. So that's what she promised. Dirk didn't want his own death to be known. The other members of the Defiant Dragons would lose all hope if they found out. And that would snuff out the flames of the revolution for good. Miss Fei, Dirk told you to keep quiet about this, didn't he?
I guess it's no use hiding anymore. Yes, I promised not to tell. Dirk maybe promised before he died.
So I was right then.
Apollo? There's something I need to tell you. It's about, you know, Dirk's final moments.
I'm listening, Miss Fei. What happened in his final moments?
It was so soon after I was kidnapped. Dirk paid me a visit in that tomb where I was hiding held captive. I'd say it was a few days before Minister Inga's murder.
Hello?
Hey, young lady, time to get you up and out here.
Oh!
Oh, so that's why she was tied up.
It's the revolutionary guy.
I'm here to rescue you.
You are? Why?
I figured things were a little too quiet with that stamp-sucking scumbag, so I started digging around. That's when I found out you've been abducted.
But why would a rebel help me?
Let's go before it's too late.
It's alright. It already is for you, pal. Who?
Ah, him. Long time no see, ya rebel blowhard. Inga, I know you're up to something, and I'm going to find out what. Ah!
Dang, without any freaking hesitation. Just like that. That's got us smart.
You've become a real thorn in my side.
Oh gosh.
Dirk!
Really? With no hesitation? Bruh.
Huh. Did you really think a pea shooter like that could kill a dragon? What the?
It hit the statue.
Ah! What the? Some kind of freak? Nuts to this!
So he ran?
Dirk was shot several times, but he barely even flinched. He sacrificed himself for me. These ropes!
I've got to help you. Relax, it's going to be okay. Sorry things turn out this way, but it doesn't look like I have much longer.
No! Don't say that!
You're a spirit medium, aren't you? When I'm gone, I want you to channel my spirit.
Stop it! Don't give up like that!
If you do, untying a rope like that would be child's play.
No! Please, hang in there! You can still make it!
Promise me one thing, young lady. It's about my son.
Dirk was talking about you, Apollo. He said he wanted to see you one last time, so he asked me to return to the US and channel his spirit.
He really said that.
He also said he'd been meaning to visit you for years, but kept putting it off, and that this was his last chance.
You just showed up out of here without warning after all this time. Right. Dirk, you really did come to the US because you wanted to see me. I guess this means it was Inga that hid Dirk's body in the sarcophagus after Maya left the tomb.
Apollo, you can't stop now. Dirk would want you to keep pressing on.
I know, Miss Faye, and I won't disappoint him.
Defense, if you are ready to proceed, I would first have you answer this. Do you believe the accused's death will impact what we know about this case?
Yes, and I believe I can explain everything now.
Very well, your explanation please.
Dirk entered the tomb at 3 p.m. the time the hostage exchange was taking place. Or rather, Dirk, as channeled by Miss Faye, did. Now, by the time he entered the tomb at 3 p.m., Minister Inga was already dead. I say that because we know the minister was murdered at 2 p.m. But there was someone else in there. This person was already hiding in the tomb, waiting to channel Dirk in place of Miss Faye. And that leads back to Her Eminence herself.
Take that!
It was you, wasn't it? The fact of the matter is, Queen Amara killed Minister Inga at 2 p.m. She then went to his private quarters and channeled his spirit. The minister, thinking he was going to be late, hurried to the tomb for a hostage exchange. But once in the tomb, Queen Amara stopped channeling Minister Inga and hid it herself. Then, when Dirk entered at 3 p.m., she snuck up from behind and forcibly drove Dirk's spirit out of Miss Faye's body.
Drove his spirit out of her body? Impossible.
Actually, there is a way to do that. With a Magatama parting, that is. Using one, anyone could drive a spirit out of a person's body, even if it refused to leave.
Are you telling me that extra pale brown Magatama in the tomb was?
What did we found? Oh, that! It was.
That it was?
That's right, Prosecutor Samani, and you've seen one in action before. You saw how the glowing red Magatama sent the High Priest back to the Trial Realm? And how it turned a spirit pale brown afterwards? I don't remember that. In other words, the brown Magatama found in the tomb looks that way because its power had been used up pushing Dirk's spirit out of Miss Faye's body, right?
I probably passed out as soon as Dirk's spirit left my body. I was exhausted after channeling him for so long after all.
After that, Queen Amara must have dressed Miss Faye in her usual outfit and tied her up. I'm not sure where she got the outfit, but we can assume she had it all planned out. Then, Queen Amara must have changed into Dirk's clothes, smeared blood onto them, picked up the knife, and channeled Dirk's spirit. And that's where we left off. And that's how she escaped, right under our noses. I don't know, Apollo. The whole thing still seems a bit far-fetched. Dirk, what was going through your mind while all this was unfolding? We're going for like an hour episode, I bet.
So ultimately, it was all for naught.
Who? Nayuta?
Those dreams of revolution Dirk was always spouting.
They placed nothing but false hope in the minds of the people. And in the end, they were simply fantasies. Nayuta, how can you? Karma has spoken. The dream of revolution has withered on the vine. Its fate is sealed. The other insurgents will soon wake from their shattered dreams. No! Dirk's dream can't die like this. I'm not going to sit back and let that happen. I can't, and I won't. Nayuta, don't forget that Dirk's been proven innocent. His name is no longer tainted by the charge of murder. Now that the rebels and their sympathizers, who have been calling for his release, can't be charged with abetting the accused, so the revolution is far from over. It's only just begun. No, Dirk has not yet proven innocent. You have merely indicted by the possibility of his innocence. Indicated. What do you mean? Dirk is indeed dead. However, what if it was Dirk who killed Minister Inga while being channeled by Miss Faye? And while the crime could have occurred at 2 p.m., you have yet substantially prove it. Or do you have conclusive proof that the time of Minister Inga's death was at 2 p.m.? Well, no, I don't, but...
It seems further testimony will be required of me. As it would appear that I have fallen under suspicion, I would like to state my case. Prosecutor Samai, the rebellion must be snuffed at once and for all. You must prove Dirk Samai to be the foul murderer he was, and every last insurgent and their sympathizers must be found guilty under the DC Act, as you wish, Your Eminence.
Why is Nayuta doing this? Garan should have him under her thumb anymore. Amara's not a hostage, so what gives? Nayuta, what's left to chain you to her like this? And with that, we'll end off today's episode right here, ladies and gentlemen. That's a very long episode. If you liked today's episode, make sure to hit the like button and comment performance. If you're new, if you'd like to see a subscribe button, Struggle 6 TV, and I'm signing out.